Salamun alaikum and welcome to another episode of QG Diaries, a program on Quranology Television QGTV. Today marks the second day of Ramadan 2015, and as promised we have another question for us to explore, and that is, who is Allah? The word Allah appears 2,699 times in Quran. So you can imagine that it is actually a very well expounded concept. I think it's the most mentioned noun in the Quran. So obviously this is an important concept, and the reason is Quran is the book from Allah. Allah inspired Quran onto the Prophet, and by understanding who Allah is, we would understand the message of Quran in a much better light. So the first thing I would suggest in understanding the concept of Allah is to read at least complete sentences. And this is something which I notice happens a lot. It happens with the critics of Islam, and it happens with Muslims themselves. We quote only half verses. So you'll find the critics of Islam saying, well, you know what, the Muslim God is a deceiver, because it says that he deceives. Well, actually the ayat is makaru wa makarullah wallahu khairul makirin. So they plot and plan, and Allah plots and plans, and Allah is the best of plotters. But who is the they here? The they is the people who attempt to kill Jesus. So that being the case, Allah is not going to behave nicely to such people. So this is something which we need to understand, that if we want to understand the nature of Allah, at least read full sentences. If possible, read full passages. If possible, read whole chapters. That's what I tend to do. I like to read whole chapters because I feel this gives the best picture that I can get at that point. In any case, to explain who is Allah in this short video, obviously I can't go through the entire Quran, but I can say that in Fatiha, the opening chapter of Quran, at least we can get a very descriptive understanding of Allah. And Allah tells us, the first thing He says about Himself is that Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. So He describes Himself as Rabb al-Alameen. This word Rabb is very connected with the word Allah, and it is Allah's essential function in the universe. So this Rabb is the one which gives that, if I may describe it in that way, the energy of existence to the worlds, the infinite worlds of reality. So the one which actually moves it into existence, that is the Rabb, and that is Allah's first function. So in order to understand this concept of Rabubiyyah, we need to go through the entire Quran as well, and that is also another word which is repeated many times. The second description of Allah is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. These two names I find are the most fundamental names of Allah, and they come from the word Rahm in Arabic, which means womb. So I believe Rahman and Rahim are two aspects of the cosmic divine womb. Ar-Rahman is more of the one which is showing a more I would say protective, more educational type of function, whereas Ar-Rahim is a more nurturing type of function, and together they form that pair, and that's not even repeated a lot in Quran, but they are the essential names of Allah. The third description of Allah is Malik Yawmiddin. He is the owner of the period where ad-Din is in place. Ad-Din here refers to when Allah's Rabubiyyah is functioning and we are interacting towards it. There's a two-way thing. So that is the three descriptions of Allah in the very first chapter itself. And Allah tells us how to respond to this and to this function. I'm not going to explain it now because we don't have time. So inshallah tomorrow we will be approaching a new question. I would say, what is the nature of our relationship with Allah? Have a blessed Ramadan and see you tomorrow. Bye.